This week, we've got the Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Everton. Nottingham Forest in third. They're hosting a potentially resurgent, but probably not, Manchester United, still down in 13th place. Newcastle, they play Brentford. Man City are hosting Leicester, and in Spain we have the Copa del Rey semi-finals. It's the second legs coming up, and we will discuss what could happen in the games between Real Madrid and Real Sociedad, and potentially the most exciting game of this weekend's football. It's going to be Atletico Madrid taking on a very much informed Barcelona. The first leg of that game finished in an amazing 4-4 draw. So there's still very much all to play for. And make sure you stick around to the very end of this video, as I will be sharing with you my top 3 safest predictions for this round of upcoming games. Welcome back to PANENKA Predictions. We've got loads of great games to cover this weekend. I hope you all enjoyed the international break, if that's at all possible. And in case you missed it, I released the first of a 3-part series of exciting videos where I put together my La Liga All-Star 11 and pit them against my EPL All-Star 11. What an amazing game that would be. Rafinha, Yamal, Bellingham, Mbappe, Pedri, Zubimendi, and maybe Jan Oblak in goals, against the likes of Mo Salah, Erling Haaland, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Cole Palmer, and maybe even Alisson between the sticks for my EPL All-Star 11. What a great game that could potentially be. Be sure to check out the first video where I share with you my All-Star La Liga 11. I'll leave a link at the end of this video for you to do so, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on parts 2 and 3, where I'll be giving you my All-Star Premier League 11 and then playing them against each other in a one-off game. It would be an amazing game, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject, so as always, leave them down in the comments for me and let's start a discussion. And now, let's talk football. We kick off our predictions in the EPL this week with 2nd place Arsenal at home against 8th place Fulham. Well, they're 12 points behind Liverpool now, and barring some kind of supernatural disaster, they won't be catching them this season. Arsenal should be more concerned about holding on to 2nd place, as Nottingham Forest are just 4 points behind them now. And even more importantly than that, they're going to be facing Real Madrid in a week's time in the Champions League knockout stage, and on top of all that, they have to travel to play away at Everton this weekend as well. So, lots to consider for the Gunners this weekend, especially considering that all their front 3 attackers are still all out injured. In their last 3 games against Fulham, there have been 2 draws and 1 win, and that 1 win was for Fulham. Fulham are only 3 points outside the European places for next season, so they'll be giving it their very best shot to get the win here. Arsenal on paper, they may be the slightly stronger and hence the favourites here, but I can see Fulham definitely getting in amongst the goals in this game. I'm not going to pick a Gunners win here. Instead, I'm going for over 2.5 goals in this game. It might be a 2-1 win for the Gunners in the end, or it might be a 2-1 win for Fulham. Either way, I will be supporting the underdogs, and I'm just going to predict over 2.5 goals. Next up is Wolverhampton at home against West Ham United. The Wolves are 9 points clear of the relegation zone right now, and they'll be looking to extend that gap this weekend against a West Ham side that sit 8 points above them in the table. I really think motivation could be the determining factor in this game, as one team have got their eyes on survival, and the other team may already be planning their summer vacations in Ibiza. They come into this game in roughly the same kind of form. Both of them have won 2, they've lost 2, and they've had 1 draw out of their last 5 games. I think Wolves should probably be able to take a point away from this game, as West Ham, they're unbeaten in their last 2 away games, and one of those games was against Arsenal, and they won that game 1-0. So I think West Ham do look good to get a goal in this game, so do Wolves. Therefore, my prediction for this game between Wolverhampton and West Ham is that both teams will score. Nottingham Forest, looking to close the gap on Arsenal, take on a seemingly improving Manchester United. Now, this could be a very good game. Forest are in solid form. They're through to the FA Cup semi-finals, and they will be confident of getting the 3 points at home here, just as they did in their last home game, and that was against Manchester City. Manchester United come into this game on an impressive streak now of going unbeaten in 7 games in a row. They've also scored 7 goals in their last 2 games as well. 3 away at Leicester, and even more impressively, 4 at home against Real Sociedad. They'll be looking to continue that good form, and they'll need to be at their very average best if they hope to take anything away against Nottingham Forest. This game could go either way, as Nottingham Forest may have a few tired legs after their weekend extra time FA Cup tie, while Manchester United, on the other hand, they had more time to really just chillax and recover. I can see a similar game playing out as it did at Old Trafford earlier on this season, where Forest came out 3-2 winners. So all things being considered, I think that the safest prediction for this game is going to be that both teams will score a goal here. And I do hope that Forest again come away with the 3 points and move up potentially closer to second place. Our next game is between Bournemouth and Ipswich Town. Bournemouth, for all the quality players they have in their team, they seem to have come off the boil in the past few weeks. They've only managed 1 win in their last 5 games, and they've lost 3 of those games as well. Ipswich, though, even though they're in much greater need of the points, are in even worse form. They've lost their last 4 Premier League games and scraped a draw in the game before that. Bournemouth, they are the better team, and they did beat Ipswich 2-1 away from home earlier on in the season, and I guess a similar result would not be that big of a surprise for me here. However, for this game, my prediction is going to be for both teams to score. Ipswich, they've found the back of the net in 5 of their last 6 away games, and as Bournemouth defence, well, they seem to be on holidays already, I think that run will continue in this game. Brighton, they're taking on Aston Villa in a game that sees 2 teams in solid form going head-to-head. Brighton are actually the informed team right now in the Premier League, as they've registered 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 games. They currently sit 2 points ahead of Villa, and both teams still have the chance to qualify for Europe next season. Aston Villa, they still are in Europe right now, and they have an away game against Paris Saint-Germain in a week's time, and I think that's going to be in the back of the players' mind in this game. If that wasn't the case, I'd probably be going for a draw here either way, but as that is the case, then I think that Brighton are going to have the advantage, and given they're in such good form right now, so for Brighton at home against Aston Villa, I'm going to be predicting a Brighton home win here. Man City, trying to get into the top 4, are hosting Leicester, desperately trying to get out of the bottom 3. I don't think we really need to look too much into this game. Leicester, they're in horrible form. They've lost their last 6 games and they haven't scored a goal in any of them.
Absolutely useless!
And Man City, look, regardless of their overall form this season, they're just a class above, and they need to get a convincing win right now to boost the team's morale, and I think this game against Leicester provides them with the perfect opportunity to seriously improve on their goal difference. So, keeping it short and sweet,
title of your sex tape.
For Manchester City vs Leicester, I'm predicting a Man City home win and over 2.5 goals. Newly crowned EFL champions Newcastle United are hosting Brentford in midweek, and they will be super confident after their win against Liverpool in the EFL Cup final as they try and break into the top 4, getting the 3 points here. Brentford also registered a 2-1 win away from home as they beat Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium to climb up to 11th on the table. There's usually loads of goals between these two when they play each other. In their last 2 meetings, both games produced 6 goals each, and I think we'll see more of the same in this game. Both teams have got great attackers, and both teams have got quite questionable defenses. So I think we're in for a very entertaining game here, and my prediction is going to be for over 2.5 goals. Liverpool are looking to get back to winning ways and take another giant step closer to securing the Premier League title this season. They're hosting their local city rivals, Everton. Liverpool, for the first time in a long time, are on a 2-game losing streak. Now, that's not bad for most teams, but for Liverpool, it came at a heavy price. They lost the EFL Cup final 2-1 against Newcastle, and they were knocked out of the Champions League by Paris Saint-Germain. They are doing better in the Premier League though, and they've notched up 4 wins and a draw in their last 5. And a draw is exactly how this game played out when the 2 teams played each other earlier on in the season. But I would be quite surprised if it ended up being a draw here. Stranger things though have happened. And when it comes to getting draws, there's no better team than Everton. They've now drawn their last 4 games in a row, and they've actually drawn 5 out of their last 6. Could this be 6 from 7? I don't think so, to be honest. Yes, they may get a goal in this game, but Liverpool right now, they want to get the win here. They need to get the win here, really more than anything for their fans' sake. And I can see them getting the 3 points in this game, but it won't be straightforward. Unlike most Merseyside derbies, I can actually see quite a few goals in this game, and my prediction is going to be for Liverpool to get the home win, and there will be over 2.5 goals in this Merseyside derby. What do you think will happen in the Merseyside derby? Will Liverpool get the 3 points, or will the draw specialist Everton steal their share of the points? Let me know down in the comments your predictions for this game or any other game coming up this round. Our final game from the EPL this round comes to us from Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea will be taking on Tottenham. Chelsea right now, they're currently holding on to 4th place, and Tottenham, well, they're currently holding on to 14th. This weekend, I predict that is going to change. Although Chelsea are much higher up on the table right now and they are strong favourites to get the win here, Tottenham actually come into this game in slightly better form of the 2. So I don't really think that a home win is such a certainty here. Chelsea, they've lost 3 of their last 5, and the 2 wins that they did get were against a really terrible Leicester and also against FC Copenhagen. Tottenham, they're not faring much better to be honest, but they will be buoyed on by the fact that they've qualified for the next round of the Europa League. These two teams played out a 7-goal thriller in the first half of the season, and wouldn't we all love that to repeat itself in this game? For me, and more specifically for my prediction, I'll just be very happy if both teams do score a goal in this game. It could be a goal feast, or it could be tight and boring again.
Title your sex tape.
Off to Spain now, and it's the second leg of the Copa del Rey semi-finals. In one corner, we have Real Madrid at home and with a 1-goal advantage hosting Real Sociedad. And in the other corner, it's round 2 of what stands at a 4-4 draw after the first leg. We have Atletico Madrid hosting FC Barcelona. This game is going to be a belter. There will be goals, that's plural, as in goals in this game and at both ends of the pitch. These two sides met each other in the Liga 2 weeks ago, and Barcelona came from behind to secure an impressive and very important 3 points as they ran out 4-2 winners. Can they do it again? For me, the answer is a definite C. However, as the majority of Barcelona players will be playing their third game in the space of 1 week, tired legs may start to creep in. Not that Atletico Madrid need any kind of assistance in scoring against Barcelona. They've scored 2 goals twice against Barcelona so far this season, and they might even make it 3 from 3. Barcelona though, they've scored a massive 8 goals against Atletico Madrid in the last 2 games alone. I mean, these two teams just really love scoring against each other, and multiple times each game. And this makes my prediction for this one super easy. Between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, I'm going to be predicting over 2.5 goals. And as a bonus tip for this game, I think it's pretty safe to say that Barcelona will win this game and both teams will score. And our final game this round sees Real Madrid hosting Real Sociedad. Madrid won the first leg 1-0 and will be huge favourites to get the job done here. They did make very hard work of their 3-2 win against the lowly Leganés at the weekend, as did Real Sociedad in their 2-1 win over last place Valladolid. Madrid, of course, they have the Champions League game against Arsenal around the corner to think about, whereas Real Sociedad, they were eliminated from the Europa League, losing 5-2 on aggregate against Manchester United. Now that's not the sort of form that's going to help you coming into this game. Madrid, they just keep on winning. They know how to win, and once again I see them doing that quite easily here in the second leg. I think that they will have learned from the mistakes on the weekend and they will come out strong from the very start in this game. Sociedad, they do have some very high quality players. Madrid just have more. I can see nothing more than a Real Madrid win here, but for my prediction, I'm going for a Real Madrid home win and over 1.5 goals. And Barcelona will obliterate them in the final. And now for my top 3 safest predictions. My third safest prediction comes from the Premier League, and it's in the game between Newcastle and Brentford, and my prediction for that game is going to be for over 2.5 goals. My second favorite prediction is also from the Premier League, and it's in the game between Manchester City and Leicester, and I'm going for a Man City home win and over 2.5 goals in that game. And my final and safest prediction for this upcoming round of games sees over 2.5 goals between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. Let me know if you agree with my predictions, and also I'd love to know some of your safest predictions for these games as well. So please write them down in the comments.
Do it! Do it!
Don't forget to check out my La Liga All-Star 11 video. I'll leave a link at the end of this video. And make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming future videos, including my All-Star Premier League 11, which will be coming out in the next coming days. Have an amazing week, everyone. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you all again very soon.